Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Air Hauler with me, your Herd 37. So finally, we have moved over to the 787, the Boeing 787 from QualityWings Simulations, and I've actually failed. I've actually tried this, 3 times now, I think, with a 787, and I've failed every single time. The first 2 times we were going up to Juneau. The first time, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, the plane just started plummeting to the ground. Everything stopped working, the controls and everything, and so that flight obviously ended. Then the second time, we went up to Juneau, and everything actually worked. But the weather was so bad, I just could not land, and it's a kind of difficult approach up there at Juneau, so you got to be able to see. And I couldn't, and it just went all to hell. And then I tried another flight up to Providence, and we were just about to get onto our approach there, and all of a sudden, FSX crashes. It gave me that D3, D9 DLL error. That's from the E and B thing being on there, so that crashed. So it's just been horrible trying to get this plane in the air and finish a flight. We're gonna try it again this time, going up to Bozeman, KBZN. That's one of our bases, and also we have scenery there. We have both the Central Rocky Mountains and the actual Bozeman Airport itself, and I love that airport. It's one of the first ones I think I ever got, and I think it's beautiful scenery. So we've already accepted that job, actually, so let's go over to my jobs. I've already got that thing loaded up. Hopefully, well, if you're watching, I guess it worked. Although the weather at Bozeman is crappy as well. Pretty low clouds, but hopefully we'll be able to get this thing. So let's find the 787. I got the American Airlines livery. This is the 787-900 series. I think they got the 800 and 900. And I think QualityWings is going to bring out a cargo version as well. It's about a little over 1,900 miles. So I'm going to have 500 extra nautical miles worth of fuel. Of course, the fuel burn in Air Hauler and the actual plane don't really match up all that well. But try to get it there. So this is KRSW Fort Myers, where we're taking off one of our bases. We have scenery for that as well. We're flying out west, so we don't have to be too far over there. Yeah, shoot. This is going to ask me where to start from. I think there is a large or a cargo one. Maybe there's a heavy, actually. I think that's the one we want right there. I thought I just saw a cargo, but I think we're heavy, because I'm not sure if the 787 is actually large or heavy. I'm not really sure. That should be good right there. So let's go ahead and move on over to the plane. Alright everybody, here we are in the plane. She's getting started up right now. Take a look at her. Yeah, they put me in a weird area. It's because Air Hauler, I don't tell it about the add-on scenery, so it's just got me out in the field right here. This is what happened the first 3 times I flew, because I always put it right here. By the way, this is not like a tutorial or a review of the 787, so don't think it's going to be like that. Alright, so low fuel. Actually, I want to check the fuel. I have to check it in 1 second. Let's go ahead and actually go up to the top. I'll go ahead and shut those off. Beacon and nav need to be on, so we'll turn those on. I think that's about all we have to actually do up there. Now let's go over here. Let's reference airport, Fort Myers, KRSW. Don't worry about the gate. So it's KRSW to Bozeman, which is KBZN. There we go. Our route right there. Activate and execute. Departures. Let me get out my note cards here. We're going to be taking off on runway 6. It'll be it'll be Seashell 5 transition at Lakeland, LAL. And then arrival, we're going to take the ILS runway 12. And there is no, as you can see, no star. Let's execute that. Alright, so fuel, alright, 73,000 pounds, which is correct. I wanted 72,829, so 73 is good. Reserves, we'll say 3. on the reserves. Cruising altitude, we're flying out to the west mainly, so let's say 36,000. Cost index, let's say 85. Execute that. I'm not going to do a derated takeoff. Flaps, I'm going to put 5. I've been doing it, and it seems fine. I don't know if you should go up to 15 or 10. I'm not really sure, to be quite honest. Trim 5.75, so I'm going to go ahead and try to move that to 5.75. Takes a little bit for this thing to turn. Alright, 575 right there. So V2 is 159. So move that down. By the way, this is about 30,000 pounds cargo overweight, but we don't have much fuel, so it should be fine. Let's go over here to this index. Let's find out approximately our approach speed. Let's go over to legs. And we'll check this out. There's Lakeland. See if there's any discontinuities or anything. There's Billings. I had to put in some waypoints of my own. It looks like they're in there. Alright, so everything looks good right there, as far as I can tell. It looks like it's got the right speeds in there. I don't know if I've made a view. Alright, I do have a view for this. Sometimes this is kind of cool. I don't know, there's some things that I really don't like about this. It doesn't work that well. Copy the FMC data. So it's got everything in there. And Seashell 5. Now, I don't know if something's wrong actually when we take off, because as you can see, it actually says to come out here and up to, well, actually to here to Lakeland. But when I take off, it seems to, it shows the path is going straight there and then over to Pulex. So I'm not sure exactly what's up with that. A flight director on? Yeah, we're on a road. Both flight directors on. We can go up to 36,000. The runway heading for takeoff is 059. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll throw on the taxi light. Actually, can't hardly see it now. All of a sudden, things kind of got a little fuzzy right there. And TCAS, TARA. Parking brake is off. Let's start our taxi over here. And we'll look a little bit more at the plane though. And I just realized Navigraph has something you can use with like your iPad and your iPhone, actually Androids as well. So you can actually like link up and it'll actually follow your flight, which I think sounds pretty daggone cool. I was going to install that, and it says your phone or iPad has to be at least iOS 10. That's the minimum. And it's like, are you kidding me? I have an old iPhone 4S. I was going to get the X, but I ended up losing a really good big paying job. Actually, I'm supposed to, they say, hire back in January, so I'm excited about that. But I also have the iPad. I think that they called it the new iPad when it came out. I'm not sure if that's 3rd or 4th generation. So like 9.3.5 or whatever is the highest that either my phone or my iPad can get to. Like, I can't get iOS 10. They don't have it for me, so I can't even get the daggone SimLink, which is ridiculous. Why Navigraph would make it so you have to have 10 as the minimum is just beyond me. Actually, it kind of pisses me off a little bit. 1. I think that is 5 right there, getting the flaps out. Mute my mic for 1 second. Alright, I'm back. Taxiing on a little quicker. We're only going 11 miles an hour. So we got to go to the other end of the airport. It's kind of cool. Last time we had our cargo plane sitting right over there. Like, I think we had a Martin Air MD-11 and stuff sitting over there. We might have a UPS plane, one of our UPS planes sitting over there. I love seeing our planes on there. By the way, I've got the scenery completely maxed out. I did a complete reinstall of my computer the other day, including also, obviously, FSX. And actually we have ATC working. And I also upgraded my video card. Hadn't really planned on it. But at the price that I was able to get it, I couldn't hold back. My old card is the NVIDIA from EVGA, the 760, I believe, overclocked. And they say that was a mid-grade card. This is the NVIDIA 1050 from EVGA. They call that a budget card. But it looks like, I was looking at the, trying to compare the two, and it looks like all the websites say that this is a little bit of a better card, a little bit better frame rate and everything for most games, so hopefully that holds true. I have, unfortunately, ever since I installed it, been getting some lockups. The computer will just all of a sudden lock up. I'm kind of worried about that with a flight like this being so long. I don't need another lockup. That's one reason I did a complete reinstall. I thought maybe that would help it. All new drivers and everything. So that might be one of ours over there, if not both of them, because I know we have different UPS planes. And a little bit looking at the plane a little bit. I like how you can put stuff in different areas. Like if you want to bring the CDU up here, run through your systems and checklists and all that. I really do like this this plane. Put that back there and bring the CDU back down there. Now there's some parts that I don't like. At some of the airports we have, it's like the E and B. You know, it can show you where to taxi and everything, but it doesn't seem to work at every airport. I was testing it out at Phoenix, and it just so happens that it was in Phoenix, so it worked really well. But then I come here to KRSW at Fort Myers, and it doesn't have it. And a lot of these, it says it needs charts and stuff. Well, you got to go download the chart from Navigraph or whatever, and retitle it sometimes and put it in the folders. It's like, that's kind of... I just don't like that you should have to do that. Seems like it should be able to do it automatically. Like into your Navigraph account or something, it should be able to do it on its own. I don't know. I don't like the fact that it doesn't do that. If you're going to make a really technically advanced airplane like that, you should, I think, have it integrated so it does it automatically, not the user has to go and download the charts and stuff. But whatever. It's still a nice plane. Alright, so let's stop here and we'll check everything out. Frame rate isn't too bad. I can't remember what it normally is. Oh, this is down to 23. Let's go ahead with the landing lights, strobe lights. By the way, the range of this plane is just absolutely crazy. Isn't it something like 6,000 nautical miles or something? It's absurdly long. LNAV and RNAV are armed. Now you can see it gives the warning FMC intercept. That's because I don't know why all the QualityWings do that. When you turn on LNAV, you need to be pointed towards the first waypoint or whatever. It's just a bit ridiculous. See, as we turn, it comes on. You used to be able on the 757 turn that off. I don't know. QualityWings are the only planes I've seen that actually do that. Get myself lined up. You can see the views are already moving like crazy. So I need to come over here. Alright. Arm the auto throttles. Flaps are at 5. Auto brakes and RTO, landing lights, taxi lights, strobes. Everything looks good. 159 is the V2. Let's go flying. Bring up the power. Toga.
Check thrust. Thrust set.
Try and keep her centered.
Checked. B1. Rotate. B2.
You don't want to jerk back too much. I've noticed that in this plane.
Positive rate. Gear up.
Gear coming up. I just noticed that my first waypoint over on the right side, it's not connected for some reason. Autopilot.
Autopilot on. Autopilot in command.
I don't know why it's wanting to bring us back right. Did we didn't miss anything in that. Not sure why it's not connected. Let me check down here real quick. Not quite sure. In the other flights, that never happened. That's kind of odd. Every time we took off out of Fort Myers. By the way, it doesn't always seem to tell you to retract the flaps, so I'm going to go ahead and retract them. Now we're over 200 knots. So the flaps are fully retracted. See, it's just showing the SID there, the first seashell. So I'm a bit confused why it's doing that.
With our flight underway, I'd like to once again welcome.
Alright, so taxi light coming off. You'll notice the vertical speed, man. This thing will climb like crazy. It's not that big right now, but I've had it climbing over 4,000 feet a minute. I want to say 4,600 feet a minute, so it's just crazy. And no, I'm not going to go through the checklist on this thing. And you'll see, like, see how we go out and then we just cut left instead of following the, what it lists there. Which I'm not sure how that does that.
Now we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
That we're already at 6,500 feet. Taking off at sea level. Although I'll tell you one thing, it needs to bring down the range. It's just very odd that it did that. Also want to check one thing, the radio for the minimums. It's kind of hard sometimes to tell what it's set at. There's a little notch there. It looks like it is set at radio. We'll just check it, yeah. This is very strange that it's set up like that. Something is very screwed up right here. And we don't have all the waypoints in there now. What in the hell just happened? It's only showing the SID. Vectors. There we go. Now it'll take it over there. I have no idea what happened right there. I'm wondering if I screwed something up over here, clicking around. Alright, so we're above 10,000. That's very odd. I haven't had that happen in this plane yet. I don't have a ton of experience. This is only about the 4th or 5th time I've actually flown it. I tested it out in Buenos Aires and everything, flying around. Everything was fine. Like I said, I've made 2 trips up to Juneau. Well, one of them was only part way. And I got up to Providence in it. But I've only landed it once. And that was just in trial, so we'll see what happens though. My throat. We'll see how we just kind of fly over to it. It never has followed that. But I guess as we fly it, we'll start to figure out a bunch of stuff. I'm sure a lot of you have already been flying this for a while and have found out all kinds of interesting stuff on it. We look down here. Alright, so it is going to go straight over to Seashell and not come back. That was very strange how it was missing stuff all of a sudden. Alright, now let's look down here at the progress. We'll bring it up here. You can't really see it there either. So we'll have to come back down here. And I know there's a progress button. There we go. Now it says 19.1. This will of course all change. It says we'll get there about 1921. It hasn't been accurate at all. 1921, so about 4 hours or so. Well, like I say, this thing hasn't been accurate at all. Now, we usually have been getting there a little later than it says. And of course, the fuel changes as well. They don't have it programmed as accurate as, say, PMDG would. Not trying to knock them, it's still a very good plane. Still bugs and stuff, but it's a nice plane. But since it's going to be so far away, we got over 4 hours, so I'm going to go ahead and speed on up, because you can't really. There's a little bit of scenery to look at, but I'm really anxious to see if we actually make it up to Bozeman. I'm sure the weather is going to be crap, like I say, but I'll go ahead and speed on up, everybody, and I'll be back in just a little bit.
aircraft securely fastened. To prepare for landing, it will be necessary to collect all service items, as well as any other items you wish to discard, such as newspapers.
FSX. FSX.
Alright, everybody, slowing down to normal speed. About 11,500 feet. I feel like we're getting too low, and I just looked at the screen. And my god, that's just ridiculous. We're gonna have to try and clean that up somehow. Japper, and then wants to go to church. Winix, and then 2890. I might have to let it go just a little bit. It's such a... Winix, it doesn't need the INTC, that's for sure. So if we move that up... There we go, that cleaned it up. I was like, that makes no sense at all. And I saw some weird altitude heights in there when I was looking early. Like, one, it went down all the way down to 40 feet. I was like, it doesn't ever go to 40 feet like that. And actually, it shows that we're too low now. But that might be because we took that waypoint out. Like, if you look over there, if we had to go over there, it would be too low. Central Rocky Mountains from Orbx. Yeah, it's like we're coming through a little opening here in the valley. That ridge. Alright, so let's look down here real quick at our landing speed. I think it was actually the same. I'm gonna just get rid of that for now. So let's come over here. Alright, 143, so it is the same. So our approach speed is going to be 148. I've got it set to go, let it go down to 6,800 feet. That's about 2,500 above the runway for the ILS. That's what I didn't want to see. That's what it looked like when I checked out the airport earlier. No breaks in the clouds whatsoever. This could not be good. Now, see, it says we're 4,000 below. I'm going to go ahead and hold right here. See, we took that waypoint out and it kind of screws things up. 309, 309, 309. I'll let it hold right here at 240. Because it says we're 4,400 low right now. And just so I don't forget, landing lights on, taxi light on as well. I'm going to go ahead and hit the terrain switch just to make sure. We don't want to be in any dangerous stuff, especially we saw those mountains over there. Alright, we're about 3,900 high now. I'm coming down. And then we can get back on the VNAV. I'm a little worried about our speed as well. See, 143 there, that's our landing speed. And 7 miles before that, 153, that's where we've got a problem. Now that that's changed. 153, I'm going to go 163. And 10 miles before that, I'll go 190. That didn't get it. And then 10 miles before that, we can't slow down. That's 153, 153. That's not what I wanted. $153. Let's go 163. Let's keep switching it to 153. One before that, 175. Can we get that? Why do I keep missing these? 175. 10,620. $190. Ah, these buttons keep getting missed, even though I hear them. Look at that, I keep hearing the clickings, but it's not clicking it. This is ridiculous, come on. 11,180. Alright, so we're still 19 to 1800 above. So the speeds are a little bit better now. They're a little slow through here. I'm going to go ahead and put flaps to 1. You can see we're right above the flap speed. So as we come down, I want to have my flaps already partially extended. They're at 1. See, we're just below the damage speed. Yeah, I had to put in these waypoints myself on FS Commander since there was no star or anything. Well, you know what? That totally took out the... oh, there it is. We're 900 above. Because remember, when we get back towards it, we gotta hit the VNAV again. $700 above. VNAV? The thing went away, so I don't know if we're on it or not. That actually shows we're below. Alright, so we're 400 above. Kind of keeps disappearing. Visibility is absolute garbage, which I was afraid of. And this next waypoint, I can't... So it actually says 153, but that can't be right. I think I'm going to have to take over the auto throttles. One thing I don't like about the plane is you can't hear the engines that well. Speed brakes are armed, auto brakes are at 3 because I know the runway isn't extremely long. And usually in QualityWings, the brakes aren't that great anyway. We are really having trouble slowing down here. There's the flap up right there. We're below 10,000 feet. ILS better work. Get us on track, by the way. Or it could be a problem. Alright, that's enough of that. We gotta get the speed brakes out. She was getting... she's actually speeding up right here, through here. 2,400 feet on the vertical speed, that's why. And see how it cuts it off? It was doing that the other day as well. It's cutting it off so daggone bad. We might have to go around if I can't get the speed down. Although when all of a sudden wants to dive down 1,400 feet, it's a bit of a problem. Alright, so the runway heading for 12 is 123. Flaps going to 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, in preparation for landing, please return all.
Alright, speed's coming down nicely now.
Upright and stowed position. Ensure all portable electronic devices are turned off. And
Speed
stow
brake
all
armed again.
items. Additionally, footrest and video monitors must be returned
Gear coming
to their
down.
original position. Thank you.
I'll give her a little more power now, because I don't want to get too slow. Localizer is armed. A little bit more power here. We're just below the glide slope, as you can see. I can't tell if the localizer has got it yet or not. We're speeding up just a little bit, so I'm going to get off the power again. So remember, 148 will be our approach speed. Is that outer mark or inner mark? I can't tell. Little marker. I can't tell if the localizer actually has it or not. I'm going to go ahead and hit the approach hold. Now it actually shows that we're too high.
2,500.
Autopilot going off. I'm gonna take control of her.
Flight attendants, please be seated for arrival.
I need to actually set my go-around altitude, but I'm not gonna do that. Gotta concentrate here. I got too much stuff to do already. Try to keep her on course here. We're about 700 to 800 feet high. You see, we're actually diving down 1,400 feet, 1,500 feet. Trying to get back on it, though. There we go. I've got the runway in sight. We're a little fast and high.
Landing checklist.
Wow, we are going to be way too high right here. We've been making progress on it, getting down. It's just a little too late. Like I said, this is not the longest runway in the world, and we're about 20 knots faster than the landing speed right now. Well, what can I do? I've got to try and get down to the runway. It's not how I wanted my first landing in this plane to go.
400. 300. Approaching minimums.
That we're going around.
200.
Gear up. I was gonna go a little too long there. It was just gonna go too long there. Set me up at 185 knots. See if I can get autopilot.
Autopilot on.
Autopilot in command.
7,200 feet. Actually, I'm going to go for 70. How did it come back around? It was going up and then it came back. Now we've gone past it. And it just does not want to hold. Alright, so that got real crazy.
Terrain.
Yeah, we're turning, don't worry.
Pull
We're turning.
Up. Pull up.
Train is about 10 miles ahead, so we're good. Can actually get off the flaps there a little bit. So 303 should put us, it looks like it's catty corner, but it actually should be parallel with the runway over here. Can actually see it. .600, and I want to descend a little bit quicker now. Let's see what this says. Well, I think it was the right decision. We were going to be way too high, and we were going to end up going way down the runway. I just don't know that we would have even been able to stop. So we had to go around. I think it was a good decision in the end. There's lots of times where I need to go around, and I just say, screw it, we're going ahead with the landing, and it's not the right decision. So finally, I just calm myself down and just say, you know, go around. It's just better. Let's check some things here. I just want to make sure everything is still going to be the same. 143, 143. Alright, got about 400 feet to go there. Yeah, the ILS didn't really work. We couldn't pick up on the approach wall. I think we'd already hit the 6,800 and we needed to be lower, which was my fault.
2,500.
But hey, we're still alive, so it's all good. Alright, so she's leveling out here. Hey, we burned off a little more fuel because we're still heavy from that fuel. About 13,000 more pounds than I actually wanted. I could let her go down a little bit. But we don't have to go too far out. You can see we're actually coming up on the glide slope now. So we'll get a little bit below the glide slope and then I'll cut over. We'll cut over obviously before here. We're just barely going to clear it like that. In fact, right now might actually be the perfect time. Don't want to get out too far. Because remember that 6,800 is over here, and we're a little bit closer. Yeah, had she actually gone out and done that turn more correctly instead of cut over, we would actually probably would have been much better off. Well, maybe I shouldn't say much better off, but it definitely screwed things up. Mute my mic for 1 second. It says we're still below, but I'm just so worried that we're going to end up in bad shape. Gears coming down before we make the turn here. I'm gonna put flaps to 15. We'll drop her to 170. One, two, three. So we're gonna go a little bit before it, so we need to come out just a little bit. See, it's already got that, like the localizer. I have no idea how to get that off there now. We're still below it. Alright, we're coming up on the glide slope. Hit the approach hold. Alright, now it looks like it's got it. Flaps going to 17. Number 148 is the approach speed. She's still having a little trouble slowing down here. We're just under 5 miles out. Flaps to 18, that'll help get a little more drag here. Go around altitude to 7,000. Alright, so great. The ILS has got it this time.
Landing check.
By the way, I think we're still recording. I can't tell if that's it or not. Sometimes the buttons don't want to work real well. 148 is the approach speed. I'm taking over the auto throttles.
1,000.
Full flaps. We're at 1,000, but I cannot find the runway yet. Autopilot off. I have my auto throttles set too high. But obviously we now have the runway. We're still a little fast and slightly high. A little more power here. Getting a little slightly low.
400. 300. Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Continue. Going long.
100.
Trying to get not too slow.
50. 40. 30.
It seems like we're extremely high up. I don't know how we're just... Yeah, we broke something. Okay. It didn't seem like a great landing. It seemed like it said 30-10 and we were still way above the ground. I was trying to flare and not slow down too much and all that, and I mean, first landing in the plane, really. So, Not what I wanted, but not. It could have been worse.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be taxiing for the next few minutes, so please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off the fasten
Alright, so
seatbelt sign. At that time, please remember to check around your seating area, in the seat pockets,
turn
and
off right
overhead
here.
bins for all personal belongings that you brought on board.
I wish we could have done a better landing
Take
for
care
you
of
first
open
video, but oh
bins,
well.
as the contents may have shifted during flight.
There will be many more. Yeah, it was kind of funky there at the end. We were getting a little too slow, but yet, and we were getting a little too low. That's harder to fix as well. Strobes off, landing lights off. Because you want to add power, but then you'll get too high. I don't know. It's difficult. But hey, in the scheme of things, it wasn't that bad. We did finally make a good decision to go around and not screw around and stuff like that. TCAS is off. I don't know how to get those warnings off. TCAS off, that's fine. Auto throttle disconnect. I don't know exactly. Because the auto throttle armed is off. We should check actually first, where should we park? Do we want to park that down here? There looks like empty areas. Or do we want to go all the way down there? That's where the gates are. I say we park right over here in this area. It is closer, but it looks like we've got a wider open area. So when we do start up at the last position, we won't be in hangars and stuff like that. Because obviously we're a little big for this area. Alright, so we'll just turn to the right here. So we don't clip anybody's wings. And just put her in the middle. If anyone's got a problem with it, tough. We're a 787. What are you going to do about it? I think here's good. Well, look how much bigger we are than everybody else. Man, that looks like a massive plane. Hey, we finally made a full flight. Oh, I should have turned the APU on already. So I'm probably gonna have to restart FSX anyway. It'll probably give me another E and B crash, but just in case that doesn't happen like that, I'll go ahead and start her up. Taxi light, you can come off now because we are not taxiing. I'm not sure how long it'll take for the APU to even start up. Kind of looking at this, and I don't know exactly how we're looking at. So we've got external power options. APU is actually says that. I wonder if it just automatically starts the APU up really quick or what. So let's see what happens. If we cut the fuel, is it still gonna have power? Because the APU is on. Nav and beacon go off. Alright, so we'll give her external power as well. So, APU, you can go off actually. So APU generators, can those just go off? I think that's how we want it right there. I think that's how we want it. Let's go over to, what do we want? Traffic generator. This one right here. So we did 2% damage. It could have been worse. Like I say, that was really my first true landing. So I can't be too hard on myself. And the fuel was about right, although we did have to go around. But all in all, it wasn't actually too bad. Or too off. I think I put in 600 or 500 extra miles worth. So going around, it was close at least. And this thing has a dispatcher, which you can help set up the fuel. But like I said, it's a little bit different. They don't quite match up with the fuel burn and air hauler, but close enough. 98.72%. We've actually climbed a little bit. Let's look over here. Actually, bank loan, take out a loan, cancel the loan. We'll see how much money we made on this flight, if we made any after the repairs. All right, so it brought in 496,000. Let's say we use 96,000 in fuel just to cut it down to 400,000. Let's see, 480,000. I'm sure it's going to cost a ton to repair this thing. 382,000. So we probably made a little bit of money. There we go. Did our repairs. The 777 Air France needs this 100-hour check. Look at it, 400 grand for the 100-hour check. I did some. I got some people flying today because we're kind of low on money. You see, we're down to 290 million. Gotta get that back up. We get close to 2.5 billion. 5 million in overhead. That's not that bad. I just opened up a base today in Memphis in Air Hauler 2, and it's like 1.2 million a month. So if that's 1.2 million a month, and how many bases we've got? I mean, that's only like 4. That's saying like 4 or 5 bases in Air Hauler 2. And if we look at this, my bases, it doesn't even list how many we have, but look at all of them. Look at that. So Air Hauler 2, it's going to cost a little more money, I guess. All right, well, all is not lost. That's our first landing. We'll chalk that up to, got to get used to the plane, which is true. You got to get used to the plane. But Albuquerque, I don't know. I might be able to do a flight tomorrow. Tomorrow's my last day off. Just kind of looking. Oh, Palm Springs. That's the one we're doing. Yep. I love Palm Springs. We have souvenir for that KPSP. I love that airport. That's the one we're doing. I mean, these are some cool ones too. Oh, Terre Haute? Daggone it. I almost want to come back and then go to Terre Haute. I used to live just north of Terre Haute. So I kind of like flying this place, Used to live there. Palm Springs is beautiful. We got scenery for that. That's where we're going. No doubt about it. It doesn't pay as much as some of the others, but it still pays pretty good. Like Albuquerque is way better, but we're going to Palm Springs. That's a good one. As long as I get a flight in. If I don't get a flight in, we won't be going to Palm Springs, but I'll try to do it. Anyhow, that's going to be it for this episode, everybody. I hope y'all did enjoy it. I'll catch you guys on the next flight.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.